Hey guys, welcome back. SBMTG. So today's video, I'm going to do a review of CardConduit. It's a card service that I've been using for about the past 3 months, and it's interesting because I kind of needed something like this. I'm pretty sure if you've been playing Magic for a long time, you've acquired a lot of bulk or a lot of commons and uncommons, or just you found Magic cards that you didn't even know you had for a while. So Card Conduit is actually a place where you can send all your cards without having to submit a buy list. You can just basically get a flat rate UPS large box, and you can start making packets of like 100 to 120 cards and just wrap them in some paper and just stack the box until it's full, tape it up, slap a shipping label on there, and send it in. And they'll go ahead and they'll do an extensive report, and they'll pay you for what the cards are worth at buy list prices. I found this service to be let's like very useful, because there's multiple things that you can do using this website. Like they have the dashboard, and I'll show you how to use most of these features here in a minute. But as you can see that I have shipments pending processing. They're going to be paying me out and stuff like that. Obviously, they're not large amounts, but these are just some of the cards that shipments that I've made just to kind of test the system and see how everything works. And then once I kind of saw that, hey, these guys are on the up and up, they're a legit site, they're trustworthy and they pay out, and now if I have other cards or, higher valuable cards that I want to send in, I can just go ahead and send them to Card Conduit and have no issue. One of the things I like about Card Conduit is that depending on how you choose to do your shipment, um, you can ask for like an extensive breakdown, and they'll tell you like, hey, these are the cards that you sent in. They'll tell you the set, the name, the amount, the condition that they graded it, the rarity, if it was foil or non-foil, if the card was bulk or non-bulk. One of the biggest questions that I had when I first used this was, okay, they charge you 3 cents for each card that they process. This is true, but they also have other options where, like, when you submit your shipment, you can click to exclude common cards, uncommon cards, or rares, and they won't charge you the 3 cent per card. And instead, what they'll do is they'll give you a bulk rate. So say the card was, I don't know, 10 cents or whatever. They'll pay you the difference, and you guys can see the breakdown at the end of the report, and you guys can find out how things work. So with this shipment, the total amount was 107.84. Their fees that they charged me was 21.52 for processing and things like that. So my total payment after sending in this box was $86.32, which is great. Like I was telling people that if you try to sell like a bunch of cards or stuff that you don't even know, you can't just walk it to a LGS or some type of store if you don't know them or have some type of good working relationship, because you can't trust them. Like you don't know what they're gonna take or what they're gonna pay you for. But at Card Conduit, you don't have to worry about that, because you can kind of keep them honest. You can do an inventory yourself before you ship the cards to them, and also they sent you a breakdown of what they received and how they received it, and what kind of grades they gave to it. So they give you the breakdown. You can see that the cards they actually processed 389. Some 142 of those were non-bulk, so that was sort of the most of my money was. Then they had bulk cards, and they gave me a bulk rate, and I got $7.48. There were some exclusions. Really not sure on what that means, but maybe like special cards or things that are like oddities, like tokens or some type of card that had value, but it's not your common Magic card. And then it also gives you like a breakdown, like did they pay you in lands, commons, uncommons? What was the majority of cards that you sent in? There was like 5 rares that came out to like $1.82. It looks like most of the money that I made was on uncommons, which is great. If you've been trading Magic cards or you've been selling Magic cards, you know that commons and uncommons are like the hardest cards to move or trade or try to do anything with, because people need them, but they only need certain types, or only a certain quantity of these cards. And most of the time, they're not that expensive, unless they've aged over time, and we're talking about like maybe alpha and beta and all that old school stuff. But for the newer, modern standard sets, most of the time, commons and uncommons don't hold that high of value as like rares or mythics, or staples that are being played like in tournaments and stuff like that. So they give so they give you all this. They give you the breakdown. They let you know, hey, this is where most of your money was, and what you made on everything else. They tell you, hey, they processed 23 basic lands, and most of these boxes that I've been sending to them were just like cards that like I really didn't care about. I was just kind of testing their system and seeing how things work, and if it's profitable, and like if I can potentially make money from magic cards that I'm not using, or that I just don't want to deal with, and this is like ideal for like cards that are under $5. Moving a lot of cards that are like under $5 can be tedious. It's a grind, but it's doable. But also, if you just have a collection that you've just been sitting on, you don't want to deal with buy listing, you don't want to deal with putting in an order, you just put it in a small box, make a shipment, you print out the label, and you send it into these guys. They'll give you a breakdown of the cards that you have or a deck, and they'll pay you out for it. So it's that easy, and all you have to do is just wait on their processing time, which is usually pretty good. Obviously, I've been sending them a lot of cards. I've been sending them probably like about like five 5,000 per box. So obviously the size of your collection is going to affect your processing time, and how fast they can get it done. But like I said, these are cards that I'm not too attached to. They're just in my house. They're just sitting. So what do I got to lose? So I went ahead and sent them to CardConduit, and this is what it's doing. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that, oh, all your unwanted magic cards or whatever are worth money, because a lot of times they're not. But sometimes you get lucky. You see, you have some non-bulk cards that are worth like $90. But of these $98, I also paid $20 in shipping. So, I got back $78 and like 46 cents, which is great, because these are cards that potentially I was never going to do anything with them, or, I would have to wait for, I don't know when, to see if I could possibly maybe trade or work with some of these cards. But for the most part, it's not worth your time. Just pack these cards up, send them to CardConduit, and get your money for it. And they can, and I'll show you towards the end of how to actually what type of payment methods that they have. They have Zelle, which is the one that I choose. They have PayPal. They also have check if you just want to receive a check. So they have multiple methods of payment, which is great, because everybody is at a different junction in life. You might not have a bank account, or you only have PayPal, or you just you want that money sent to your PayPal so you can use it to spend on something else online. Whatever the case, they can accommodate. So this is really cool. So you can actually go through the breakdown, and you can see the cards. They got a crop rotation. Their offer was 105, and it's uncommon, and it was near mint. So that's cool. I don't play green, and I don't have a use for crop rotation. So there you go. And then a lot of these cards, they might not seem like they're not worth a lot, but hey, 3 cents, got a bulk rate. It was foil. Uh, you know, I don't know who's really playing crushing vines, but hey, and that's another thing. They charge you 3 cents if you choose that method, to where like they inventory and they process all your cards. So one of the questions is like, and this is something that I did my first time, where I sent them 5,000 cards, and I was like, I want everything inventory. I want you to send me an extensive list. They were like, look, we have other options that if you submit like a bulk rate, we won't charge you as much, and we'll just pay you for the things that are worth money or have value. And I was like, no, I want you to shoot me an inventory of 5,000 cards, because I want to see what your prices are and what happens. Because say you send 5,000 cards, but you get charged 3 cents per each card, it's possible that you may go negative. But the cool part about this is that if you go negative, they're not going to charge you the difference. You're just not going to get a check. So, you don't have to worry about the 3 cents. But like I said, there's different ways of submitting shipments so you don't get hit with 3 cent fee on cards that don't have any significant value and then basically would just be a wash. They're buying the card at 3 cents, but they charge you 3 cents, so it's like you're basically just kind of giving that card away for free, but you know, it is what it is. They got to make money too, so it's all part of the nature of the beast. But yeah, for the most part, you can kind of see the breakdown. There were some fatal pushes. There were MP. I got $1 each on them. Great. I'm happy with that. So this is another cool thing that can help you actually, help you build the cards or card list, or kind of going through the cards that if you don't want to ship all your bulk or make the shipment that you're sending in like a big package, you can just send a small box, maybe a 500, 800, or 1,000 row box or something like that, and just ship it to them directly. But you can kind of look up the cards before you send them in, and you can kind of get an idea of what that card is worth. So say you sent them a fatal push. Depending on the condition and the set, you might get $1.85. You might get $1.68. You might get $2.50. If you have something, obviously the better the cards, the better the return, and the more money that you're going to get. It's just that simple, and that's including any buy list or any type of, store credit. And these are things that Card Kingdom, it's hard to do. Card Kingdom is very selective. Like, you can't just wrap everything you want and send it to them to get store credit or get paid out on. These guys so far today, they take everything, which is really nice. And they save you the hassle of having to go through everything and put it in order, and it has to match that order. And then another thing is, just like everybody else, you have to send the cards in de-sleeved. Now, you can send them sleeved, but I think their policy is like after a certain amount of sleeve cards, then they start charging you a fee for de-sleeving. But it's just that easy. If you have a ton of cards, just de-sleeve them before sending them in. It helps on shipping space. But if you got like a small lot, like of 20, 30 cards that are sleeved, or like a deck, just go ahead and throw it in there. Shouldn't be an issue. But so this is kind of like their price or collection, kind of tracker, where you can kind of see what a card potentially might get. So, and you can search by foil, non-foil. You can, foil etch. Now that we got these different variants, but hey, here's a Manifold, and they tell you, hey, what's it retailing for and what their best price is. Which is really cool. Because then at this way you can decide, do I want to send this card in or not? Obviously, if you don't care about the cards, cool, just throw them all in the box and let them sort it out and send you a list. But obviously, if you do care and your main objective is to make money, then obviously you want to be checking your cards to see what potential value you're going to be getting back. So this is also, if you have, they have a collection import tool where, say you have a list, I don't know, from like TCG Player or some type of CSV file, you can go ahead and you can find that and you can import it, and you can see potentially what that collection or what those cards are worth. So to start a collection, so it's really easy. Once you've made your account, you go to register a new shipment, and it kind of has like a progress bar here where it tells you, hey, where you are in that process of submitting, this shipment. And you just type your name in, and then you select the method that you want to use for shipment. So ideally, I haven't submitted too many high value cards, so it's not advantageous for me to do curated shipment, because I just been sending like, just stuff that I've been laying around and I didn't care about. So I've been using the standard shipment. But if you have higher value cards and you know that they're over $1 or more, then you can use this curated feature, and you don't get hit with the fee per card, but you do get hit with a 5% of the total value. Standard shipment, they charge you more, obviously, because they're doing a lot more work. But once you click some of these options, you get more things that you can do to help you save on cash. And the second portion of this is how do you want to receive your payment. So like I said, you have a check. Oh, they have direct deposit. They have Zelle. They have PayPal. I've been doing Zelle, and I haven't had an issue with it. Sometimes the payments can take between 3 to 4 days, but every shipment that I made, I've gotten paid for. I've never had an issue where it was non-payment or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. So let's pretend that I'm gonna make a list here. Okay, I've selected my options. You go to proceed. It's gonna hit you with the next progress step. So they kind of go through their shipment guidelines or whatnot, and it says that we'll do our absolute best to provide you with the highest possible payout prices, and they show you the fee of the service that you selected, so $3 per card and 10% off the total value. If you have a promo code or you decide to use an affiliate link or whatever, the code will be applied here and you'll save like an additional 10% or whatever for using that affiliate link or promo code. You can use mine if you want. It's like SBMTG1. I'll put it in the description, or you can use the link, or you can not. This is obviously something that I'm using, but at the same time, if I can help, I guess, promote it or something like that, I don't mind doing that. Obviously, this is service that I really like, and I've been using it, and it's really easy. So why not? And also share it with the community. Sometimes you just have like a ton of magic cards, and besides donating them and throwing them away, why not just send them to CardConduit and see what happens. So then at the end, you have to agree to their terms and policies, and then due to labor involved, there's a $20 surcharge for cards that are over $100 and sleeved in your shipment. Yeah, so if you go over like 100 cards that are sleeved in your shipment, they'll charge you $20, and then an additional $20 if you go over 500 cards sleeved. Yeah, so just save yourself the money and just de-sleeve them. Then you hit agree and understood agreement. You hit proceed, and then it takes you to reviewing basically all the options that you've selected, the cards you want to ship, and you put in your address and all that, and then your payment method. And all it asks you is to, depending on what type of payment method you selected, you put in your phone number, your name, whatnot, and you just submit. And then you can also come back and add the tracking later if you haven't already bought the shipping label. They give you basically the address, and all you have to do is put the shipment code on the label, and you're good to go. And you just send it in. So it's a pretty easy process. I want to see. Yeah, let me go ahead and do this now. So we'll go ahead and we'll just cancel if anything, and we'll show everybody how it works towards the end. So I agree. I'm going to hit proceed. So this is the next one that I was actually talking about a few minutes ago, was that you can exclude bulk and save on fees. So you can save like on non-foil commons, uncommons, basic lands, which are not worth the cost to process. But just because you click to exclude basic lands, commons, and uncommons doesn't mean that you're not going to get paid for any of this stuff. No, it just means that if it's not worth anything, they're not going to charge you a processing fee. But if you choose not to use these, then they're going to charge you, for processing and all that stuff. And eventually you're just going to lose a little bit more money than you would have had you excluded some of these commons or uncommons or basic lands that potentially, weren't going to generate you money to begin with. And, cards excluded in this way will be paid at our bulk rate, and then you can see what their bulk rate is. You incur no fee, for those cards, and they won't appear on your itemized report. So depending on you, take it for a test drive, just like I did. Grab some cards, play with the shipping features, and see what works best for you. Honestly, I've been generating, I want to say anywhere between, I don't know, $25 to $100 per box that I've been sending in. So, you know, obviously sometimes I send in better boxes than I did the week before or whatnot. So, you know, on some it's kind of like a wash. It just paid for the shipping label and it just got those cards out of my life. And then on other days, those cards that I put in were actually worth more than I thought. And you know they'll send me like $100+ dollar check and stuff like that. So that's cool because these cards weren't doing nothing; they were just sitting on my shelf and taking up space. So you know if you do this on the regular or you just have like need for their service for a one time, it's pretty cool. You know, definitely I tell people check it out. Also for the people in my Discord, you can reach out to me. You can always ask me questions. You know, and I can point you in the right direction or give you some type of tip. But overall, this is my review of CardConduit. I really like their service. Another thing to mention is that they're really good with emails. Like, so say you submit something and there's an issue with your shipment, they will contact you and they get back to you really quick. I've been talking back and forth with a lot of their personnel, and you know they're kind, they're courteous, and it seems like maybe they run a small operation over there because most of the time I'm talking to the same person. So it's really, you know, and customer service wise, that's also important because if you buy listed or you've dealt with other people, for example, like on TCG or some type of LGS or load and load and toad or whatever their name is, or CK. Sometimes you know their response time or just dealing with some of these companies can be really difficult. And as far as my experience with CardConduit, it hasn't been that way. You know, there's somebody you can talk to. You can actually talk to people on the phone. You know, any type of issue I've had, I've been able to resolve it with just an email or a quick phone call. So, like I said, if you guys are looking for a place to get rid of your magic cards, you know, give CardConduit a try. You really have nothing to lose, and they're legit, and you know it's a good company. Other than that, guys, you guys have a good one. I'll put the links for this in the description or in the Discord. If you have any comments or questions, just go ahead and put them in the video, and I'll try to get back to you and answer those when I can. All right.